Julius Caesar's name is synonymous with power, ambition, and political cunning. His rise from a military general to the dictator of Rome was nothing short of legendary, but with great power came equally great enemies. By the time of his assassination, Caesar was no longer just a leader. He was the embodiment of the Roman Republic's fading ideals. His murder on the Ides of March in 44 BCE remains one of the most infamous events in ancient history. Not just because of who he was, but because of what it represented, a vicious battle for the soul of Rome. This shocking and brutal act was not merely the end of a man, but the death of the Republic itself, replaced by the dawn of a new imperial era. But how did it come to this? How did the most powerful man in Rome meet such a violent and public demise? Julius Caesar's ascent to power was meteoric, driven by military brilliance, political alliances, and a relentless pursuit of dominance. Through his conquests in Gaul, he amassed immense wealth, loyal troops, and unprecedented popularity among the Roman people. Caesar's triumphs on the battlefield translated into unmatched political influence back home, positioning him as a formidable force in Roman politics. His controversial crossing of the Rubicon River in 49 BCE was a bold declaration of war against the Senate, a body that feared his growing authority. After a swift civil war, Caesar emerged victorious, declaring himself Dictator Perpetuo, dictator for life. This title, although bestowed legally, was seen as the final nail in the coffin of the Republic. Caesar's dominance was now absolute, but with every new title, his enemies multiplied. The Senate, once a proud institution, now felt reduced to mere spectators in Caesar's unfolding drama of power. While Caesar's reforms brought stability and order to Rome, they also bred resentment and fear among the elites. Many senators saw him as a tyrant who aimed to dismantle the Republic's cherished traditions and concentrate power solely in his hands. Key figures such as Cassius, a skilled and bitter military commander, and Brutus, once a close friend of Caesar and a staunch defender of the Republic, became increasingly disillusioned. Brutus's involvement was particularly symbolic. He was the son of Caesar's lover, Servilia, and had been treated almost like a son by Caesar himself. However, loyalty to the Republic ultimately outweighed personal ties. The conspirators painted their cause as a noble one, to save Rome from tyranny and restore the Republic's dignity. Secret meetings were held, alliances were forged, and the plan to kill Caesar took shape in the shadows of Rome's great halls. On the morning of March 15th, 44 BCE, ominous signs hung in the air. A soothsayer had famously warned Caesar to beware the Ides of March, a prophecy that Caesar shrugged off with his characteristic confidence. Despite his wife Calpurnia's pleading, Caesar dismissed the bad omens and headed to the Senate house at the theater of Pompey, unaware that his fate had already been sealed. As Caesar entered, he was surrounded by the conspirators, each man harboring a knife hidden beneath his toga. The first strike came from Casca, who stabbed Caesar in the neck. Chaos erupted as the other conspirators, about 60 in total, joined in the frenzied attack. Caesar fought back initially but was overwhelmed. Legend has it that when he saw Brutus among his attackers, he uttered the famous words, "Et tu, Brute," a haunting expression of betrayal. Caesar fell at the base of Pompey's statue, a poignant end at the feet of his former rival. Caesar's assassination was a brutal spectacle, but rather than restoring the Republic, it plunged Rome into further chaos. In the days that followed, the streets were filled with anger and fear. Mark Antony, Caesar's loyal lieutenant, seized the moment to turn public opinion against the conspirators. In his famous funeral oration, Antony displayed Caesar's blood-stained cloak and pointed to the stab wounds, each a reminder of treachery. The people of Rome, swayed by Antony's impassioned words, erupted in fury, forcing the conspirators to flee. The assassination had not saved the Republic. Instead, it ignited a series of civil wars that would ultimately lead to the rise of Caesar's grandnephew and adopted son Octavian, who would become Augustus, Rome's first emperor. The age of the Republic was over, replaced by an empire forged in blood and betrayal. Make sure to subscribe for more interesting content. The assassination of Julius Caesar remains a cautionary tale of the dangers of power, ambition, and the fragility of political institutions. While his murder was meant to restore the old ways of the Republic, it only accelerated Rome's transformation into an autocratic empire. Caesar's death serves as a stark reminder that even the mightiest can fall, and that the actions of a few can alter the course of history forever. The Ides of March is not just a date on a calendar. It symbolizes the thin line between hero and tyrant, friend and foe, and the eternal struggle between power and principle. Caesar's life and death continue to captivate us, reminding us that history's most shocking moments often arise from the most human of emotions: fear, betrayal, and the insatiable quest for control.